Hello, wonderful people. Connor Whitmore here again with another video for you on the Naughty Step channel, and it is time for another extra Naughties monthly roundup. First roundup on here in 1.5 years, which is a little bit mad to think, but let me just remind you of how these videos go. So a load of short reviews, whether it's album or EP or compilation reviews, whatever, all short form, and there are 27 in this particular video. And we got all kinds of bass music covered with these roundups. You got dubstep, you got house, drum and bass, trap, neuro, etc. All kinds of bass in these videos, covered in alphabetical order by way of artist or record label name. And then we got a load of extra mentions or special mentions or honourable mentions coming at the end of the video, those which I didn't quite have enough to talk about to mention them in the main part of this video to make a short review of them, but which I still think you guys should check out in your spare time when you have that. Future roundups, future editions of this video will be coming out earlier in the month. Just been getting used to the new schedule with the channel and whatnot. I was also away last weekend, which took a couple of days out. So yeah, like I said, going to be coming out a lot earlier each month at this kind of video. But yeah, let's go. And kicking off this installment, we have this new, I don't want to call it an album, it's not quite that, but it's a project of some sort by Aweminus. It's called Big Dumpy. Yeah, more of a compilation than an album, I'd say, but some good tracks here for sure. You got One Ton Bass, you got Clubland LV in particular for me. Bit of a slog to get through, I would say, generally. You know, you got 25 tracks here, a lot of which go on for way too long and just overstay their welcome somewhat. But yeah, some good material here, some classic Aweminus genre variety as well, which is good. Classic Burr Oak for his latest album, pretty thrilling from him yet again for the most part, and some top tunes like Symbolic, No One Is Innocent, you got Supreme Entity, Save These Days as well. I mean, I think the album overall may be a tad bloated. A couple of tracks here just don't add that much to the album overall conceptually, but large parts of it, like I said, like I kind of hinted at earlier, yeah, very captivating. Chee continues to be one of my favourite artists for sure, just such a character to his music, amazing texture to the sound, the vocal sampling, the production quality, and quite unique as well within that halftime kind of field. A couple dips here for me, like Rusty Nichols track 4, I think, but a lot of good here, a lot of good. I mean, this will be one of the EPs of the year, I'm pretty sure of it. Debut Chime album, and my favourite thing about it, having heard it a couple more times through now, is just how it stitches together different eras of Chime. I mean, the album itself is meant to be a journey of sorts through the music, through the artwork, etc. But this shows us, you know, earliest Chime, up-to-date Chime, and kind of everything in between as well, which is quite clever. Some of the tracks I find a little bit too long, and most, if not all the vocals, I'm not that big on as well. But the ambition instrumentally, musically, is pretty clear to see in my opinion. Mindburn being the biggest example of that, I would have to say. So yeah, another case, another collection where there's just a lot of good on show. A lot of good also with this Convexity EP. Yeah, loads of jazzy bass energy on show here, the colour woven in very well. The middle two for me having the most complete feel to them in terms of the idea and the execution. The drops elsewhere, I think tracks 1 and 4 here have got a bit of a weird watery kind of feel to them, meaning the definition of the overall sound maybe not quite there. So yeah, the results here of the 4 a little bit mixed, but the vibrancy of it overall with the EP generally start to finish quite infectious. Similar issues for Crankdat, unfortunately. You got a couple of decent melodies and drops here and there. The dubstep drops, the follow-on dubstep drops in particular, but the flows with the house drops are non-existent, just very clunky in how they're made yet again from him. Just gets a bit predictable and formulaic as well as the tracks go on, as the EP goes on, that whole thing of having house, then dubstep, house, then dubstep. I mean, the energy is great. The energy is very good with this EP, but the construction, the overall makeup of it, not so much. Another solid EP from Document 1, nothing exceptional, but also nothing really bad here, nothing offensive or egregious or anything similar. I think Drop Top track number 4 here sticks out quite a bit in a good way, enjoying that one a fair bit, but mostly here, yeah, just well executed, radio-friendly drum and bass music. Again, not that ambitious with the ideas, but the vocals, very catchy, giving it that radio-friendly feel. Yeah, not bad. Enjoying this album from Drone quite a bit, not gonna lie, just loving the mean energy of it. It's so fucking gnarly. And the essence of it is very consistent as well over the course of the LP, with quite a bit of variety to go with that, which is great. Parts of the LP are quite slow and do drone on a bit, if you will, just drag a little bit, but the best tracks are fucking fantastic. All I Know, Dance with the Devil, Jugtown, they all completely floor me every single time I hear them, so yeah, fuck me. This album is, it's top. Had quite a few people telling me to review this Exyl EP, so yeah, here we go. Some real ambition here, I think. Very colourful, atmospheric, spacious with how it's made overall. Big Exobolt vibes going on here. I think the execution still got quite a way to go in terms of, yeah, the production overall. It doesn't quite pop. Doesn't have the requisite shine that the ideas we get here are kind of asking for, but hopefully that just follows with time, with making music more, with the creativity being kept up here, because that is very good. Next up, one of the more digestible Ganja White Night albums, I think we should say. Still some serious production flaws, quite rough around the edges for the most part, but also some very good ideas here, like the Truth collab, and then the Mr. Bill, Subtronics, Peekaboo ones have got a lot of good material in them as well. But I suppose that's the issue. There's still quite a bit here where you can hear Ganja White Night by himself, and that mostly just feels quite flat. A pretty solid remix compilation here from IMANU, which I suppose you'd kind of expect given how high his standard must be, how good he is as an individual artist himself. But yeah, the vast majority here got really good moments, and my personal favourites coming from Grey Code, Yano and Vizsla, Chee, Darby. And then I also wanted to single out and highlight the Nightpunk and Subtronics, which have got really good bits of experimentation for them respectively. But yeah, the overall quality here, very, very high. New EP from John Casey, and I think in owing to its title, quite a bit of this does have that trial and error feel about it. I think much of the D&B just doesn't have the rich, layered John Casey essence to it, if I'm being honest. I think there is good material here, like his more usual style, and Pivot would be my favourite D&B cut here, which is a bit more immersive than the other stuff we get, but quite clear he's going into new territory with this EP, I think. I couldn't possibly talk about this seriously for fear of looking stupid, but I am happy it exists, yet again, and I always look forward to more music from Loompa. It brightens my day, and the second half of the VIP X4, I think, VIP, is hilarious. So, yeah. Next up, Maduk remixes, and not massive generally on how these were kind of gradually released over many, many months, maybe a year and a half or so. And overall, the compilation just a little bit underwhelming given how many epic vocals we get in the original album from Maduk. Most of the instrumentals here in the remixes are just a bit basic and not elevating said vocals that we get. The Andromedic is fantastic. That was one of my remixes of last year. And the Aetherborne a bit more towards the end is nice as well. But beyond that, just eh. But following that, another very good remix compilation from Mr. Bill. Some insane quality on here, whether it is the Bill VIPs or the Culprit remixes, the Volume, the Duffery, the Virtual Riot ones to an extent as well. The good is drowned out a little bit on the ideas front, but generally, I think as a whole listen, start to finish, very fun, very varied. The production quality is absolutely wild, and the sound usage as well. Those kind of things really pull it through because some of the ideas are a bit flat, but yeah, those kind of factors really do make it stand out. Some very good material on this EP from Pauliner, Herr, really nailing that new age trap sound. Let You Go, track 1, JSYK, track 3, got that real anthem feel about them, if you know what I mean. The rest are a little bit more ordinary of the 5 that we get here, but those 2 I think really do keep me going back to the EP overall. And I think in doing that, in going back to it again and again, I'm going to discover more good with it, with the EP overall going forward. That would be the hope for sure. Another blistering roller coaster of a compilation from SILKENWOOD. I mean, this thing is, it's very long, but again, I love the collaborative aspect of it, and my favourites here come from Splitter and Naya, Joshua 2 and Hasu, Internal Error and J. Kale, Corva and Novasi as well. But, you know, overall here, just incredible levels of artistry yet again. Variety levels, you got some chill stuff a bit more towards the end as well, you know, all kinds of variety. And I think few labels just kind of showcase this level of sheer talent consistently. So credit where it's due for SILKENWOOD. Unfortunately not the biggest fan of this Simula album. I think a lot of these tracks are nice, but that's kind of the issue, you know, they're mostly quite pleasant. and just playing it safe a bit. I think the production's fantastic. There's a lot of really fun sounds on show, I'll say that. But the approach is the same for just way too many of the 13 tracks we get here. Yeah, it gets a little bit predictable. Favourite Sisto EP so far for sure, for me, I would have to say. You know, not front to back great or anything similar, but just way livelier, more unpredictable than usual, and made way better as well. You know, come on leaps and bounds from one EP to another on that front. I think it definitely helps getting off to a great start. That opening couplet, that opening two is fucking fantastic. But yeah, across the EP, for the most part, just good material. He really has improved a lot, I think. Little bit of a tale of two halves here from Tactile. I think this EP takes just a little while to get going conceptually with the opening two, but the second half is fucking great. The Keep, in particular, track number 4 here. But yeah, just a very devilish 140 dubstep kind of sound with this EP. The production and the arrangement throughout, fucking incredible. So I think genuinely worth checking out this EP for that alone. Yeah, overall, very, very solid. A decent EP here from Troy Boy, but far from his cheekiest self, I think most would agree. The production's great, as per, par for the course with him, but the drop ideas aren't quite him in full flow on this EP, I wouldn't say. I think the Uzi collaboration gets closest, but mostly, yeah, just lacking the unpredictability and the cleverness that makes him elite. Then, new EP from Tainan, which kicks off really nicely with that 8-bit crushed kind of feel of Zelda Step, the opener. Following that, I think the muddy mixdowns do overwhelm just a little bit when it comes to the invention, the innovation we get here, and there's quite a bit of overblown percussion as well that just distracts a little bit from the creativity of the drops. But one thing I will note on that I really want to touch on here, the introductions across the board are sensational. The introductions, the builds that follow them as well, just very, very good, very creative, very fun, very jovial. Just giving the EP that factor of not taking itself too seriously, which I love and which the scene needs a little bit more of. So yeah, good stuff here. A tidy EP of remixes from Uber, and there is some good shit here, not gonna lie. I think the Hand Crushed by a Mallet edit is pretty wavy, albeit a little bit short, wish it was a little bit longer. And the Pizza remix, it's fucking hard following that as well, that's my personal favourite. The second half, a little bit less on point, I think the production quite poor in each of those in different ways, but yeah, this EP, good overall, and I think it's just a kind of concept, doing a project of remixes, whatever you want to call it, that more artists should do. It should be more normalised in this scene of music. Another pretty sick, if you will, EP from the Manchester duo Virus Syndicate. Yeah, just loving the range of instrumentals here. Just really different kinds of musical prowess on show here. And each one of them, I think each one of the instrumentals is one of their best from each of the producers, each of the artists we get here. And Virus Syndicate just fitting over all of them quite effortlessly yet again, which shows their range. You know, we get range with the instrumentals and the music, but with the rapping as well. You know, it's all just good chemistry here, good, concise, well-packaged tracks. Loads of variety on show, and yeah, just pretty solid, really. I'm a goat, you're a cow, and I don't want nobody's beef. More deep-lying dubstep filth from Raz, not gonna lie. You got solid, warm beats, you got clean production, hypnotic, wubby feel permeating the whole thing. My personal favourite is Knock, track 3, just the most spontaneous, the most unpredictable, the most combustible as a track overall. But yeah, just a good outlay of Raz sound, for sure. Without being Diatic or Butte Noise or Dino Shadix or that kind of level of wild creativity, I think this is one of the most creative roundtable EPs in quite a while from Zabor. You know, still metallic, still riddim leaning in a way, but more playful with it, more interesting sounds on show, more unpredictable twists and turns, great flows, a lot of colour radiating off it and kind of woven into it, and memorable parts to all 4 cuts we get here. So this one I think should be acting as a little bit of a blueprint for this label going forward. And finally for today we have yvm3, who I think has presented quite a unique approach to the tear out style. The drawn out drops, the slowdowns in tempo, the drum work, the metal flavour kind of infused into the EP as well. I think Echoes track 3 is just a very fun and bouncy take on the style, the genre, that I didn't think was quite possible. That just spicing it up a bit, doing something notably different with that style, like I said, and excited to see where this project goes from here. But there we have it, guys, the April 2023 edition of the Extra Naughties Monthly Roundup. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Now for the extra mentions, going to put them up on the screen right here, right now, for you all to see. And yeah, if you want to note them down, take a screenshot, whatever, pause the video. I definitely recommend checking these out, even if I didn't mention them in the main part of the video, doing a short review of them and whatnot. Yeah, like I said, definitely recommend checking them out when you can, if you got the time to. These are still ones that I recommend from last month. But with regards to what I reviewed in this video, which ones did you enjoy? Which others not so much? Are there any that I missed out and should have included in the main part of the video? Let me know in the comments section down below. Beyond that, keep it naughty, and if it's naughty, then you know. And I shall see all of you legends in the next one, whatever that might be. Peace.